Hey y'all, it's Delaney and welcome back to my Delaney's Desk channel. I've been meaning to talk about things that I've been reading on here, not just books, but like articles, essays, different stuff like that. And one of the things that I read pretty often is the Ethicist column in the New York Times. It's basically where people write in, usually anonymously, with their ethical dilemmas to the columnist Kwame Anthony Appiah, who is a philosophy professor at NYU. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I mostly just read the column. Like, I'll read their question to him, and then I'll just think about it myself and like what I think I might, if it's really juicy or something like that, I'll ask people that I know, but I very, very rarely ever read his responses to the questions because I just don't care, to be honest. Like, I just don't really. But there are some pretty interesting ones to say the least. So I was like, you know what? I might as well just start talking about some of them on here. So let's get into it. This first one I talked about on TikTok. If you want to hear the whole rant about it on TikTok, but this person says, I'm a screenwriter. Is it all right if I use AI? Now, when I read that title, I was like, I can already tell you right now the answer is no, it's not right. And the fact that you even asked that is pissing me off a little bit. But let's read their entire explanation. It says, I write for television, both series and movies. Much of my work is historical or fact based, and I have found that researching with ChatGPT makes Googling feel like driving to the library, combing the card catalog, ordering books, and waiting weeks for them to arrive. This new tool has been a game changer. Then I began feeding ChatGPT my scripts and asking for feedback. The notes on consistency, clarity, and narrative build were extremely helpful. Recently, I went one step further. I asked it to write a couple scenes. In seconds, they appeared quick paced, emotional, funny, driven by a propulsive heartbeat, with dialogue that sounded like real people talking. With a few tweaks, I could drop them straight into a screenplay. So, what ethical line would I be crossing? Would it be plagiarism, theft, misrepresentation? I wonder what you think. Name withheld. Of course it was. My thing about this, I have several things about this. My thing about this is the answer to these sort of like ethical dilemmas around writing with AI, making art with AI in general is like really fucking simple to me, right? You want to know if it is okay to put your name on this under written by, like on a show where it says written by so and so. But the question that you should be considering before you do that is, did I write this? And that's like a very simple thing. No, you did not. You did not write it. You didn't write it. Like you wrote something into you wrote a command into a machine that you know or you ought to know is trained on other people's work. And then you submitted it as though you wrote it. And if you are a writer, then you know what it means to write something. And you know that this is not that. And I also like with this person, I was like, do you even like your job? Like, I feel like you're not, because you're not doing it. It's not, I understand you, the whole efficiency thing. Like, you want to be able to put out as much stuff as you can and make money. Or, I don't know. But it's like, this is like an art form. Like, why? It's not like an assembly line situation. Like, do you even like being a writer because you're bypassing the entire process? Not even to mention the research part, right? Which I'll get to that. But the entire process of writing, you're bypassing by using ChatGPT. That doesn't make any sense. And the stuff that you're turning in, like I said, is trained by other people, trained on other people's work. So now your stuff gonna be their stuff, and then the next people that dumb enough to do some shit like this are their stuff gonna be your stuff, and it's everybody got the same stuff. Pretty much, it's just in a circle. Going back to the beginning of their letter when they talked about researching and how they do a lot of like historical and fact-based work, so do I. I love history and stuff like that, so I understand that researching may not be the most fun part of the process for you. However, it needs to be accurate. And I think that ChatGPT is not nearly as reliable as people think it is. I remember a while ago, and I actually, when I looked it up again, um, when I talked about this letter the first time, I found out that this has actually happened multiple times. But I read a story, which I'll link in the description, about a lawyer who referenced a piece of case law that did not exist. Why? Because they had ChatGPT do their work for them. And instead of being accurate, ChatGPT literally fabricated some case law that lawyer then cited when they were like in an actual case in a courtroom, and everybody was like, yeah, we can't find this because it doesn't exist because ChatGPT made it up. And so when you're using ChatGPT to research things, a lot of people are not fact checking. And to me, I feel like you might as well just learn how to research properly and just do it the right way to begin with, instead of thinking that you're saving time when sometimes it might be okay. I don't know the extent to which they need to start the research for the things that they do, but like maybe if it's really surface level stuff, then ChatGPT might be okay. You should still fact check it and see that it's coming from a reliable source. But like in the case of that lawyer, that blew up in a crazy, terrible way. Like that was really fucked up. Honestly, you should be disbarred for some shit like that. But this could blow up in your face using ChatGPT to research things, and people just thinking that you can take it at face value when you really can't. And when I was reading that part, I was like, you talking to the wrong person, because going to the library, coming to the card catalog, reading books, like that sounds fun to me. I understand it's not fun to everybody, but also like there are parts of everybody's job that's not fun to them. Like you just have to do it. Like I just feel like you ought to care about the product that you're putting out a little bit more than that. But I know that that's not something that everybody does. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like, especially TV writing, not so much movie writing, but like TV writing is a more collaborative process in general. And even if like we're not talking about being in a writer's room or something like that, like there are so many writers groups and things online, so many people trying to make it, trying to improve, and trying to, have some synergy with the people around them, that you don't need to feed yourself into ChatGPT to get a second opinion on your writing. Like you could just do it the regular way. Like I all of that, all of those things I just named pale in comparison to the fact that this person wants to use scenes that ChatGPT wrote and submit them as if they wrote them themselves. That's like the number one like blockbuster issue with this. So to answer the question, no, it's not alright if you do that. Question number two. This is actually my first time reading this one. This person says, my best friend's affair is eating at me. Should I tell? My best friend has been having an affair with a married man. Another close friend of mine considers the man's wife like a sister. My best friend confided in me more than a year ago. I was upset, but I stayed quiet, partly because it didn't feel like my place to say something, and partly because I hoped it would end. It hasn't, and now I resent carrying the secret. If I tell that other friend, I risk my relationship with my best friend and may just shift the burden onto the other friend, who would then have to decide whether to reveal it and hurt the betrayed wife. But if I stay silent, I remain complicit in hiding something that could affect the wife's choices about her marriage. Do I keep protecting the secret or speak up? Ooh, this is a difficult one. I saw on a TikTok not that long ago of someone saying that if their friend was cheating on their spouse or their significant other, not spouse, significant other in general, that they would stop being friends with that person because cheating is a character flaw. I think cheating is a character flaw. Also, my unpopular opinion is I think if somebody cheats on you, especially your spouse, I think they hate you. Like I think they hate your guts. They can't stand you. I really think that I don't understand how you can do something like that to somebody. But when I first read the title of this, I thought it was going to be the friend cheating on their significant other, not them like meddling in somebody else's marriage. And I'm not exactly sure if that makes a difference in my answer, but like for some reason it just read differently to me. I generally believe that people deserve to make informed decisions about their lives. So I do think that this wife, she does deserve to know that her man is cheating on her, and that she deserves to be able to decide for herself whether or not she wants to stay in that relationship. However, I also understand feeling like this is not my place, especially because this is like both the people in this marriage are not related to this person at all. Like it seems like the person in this situation that this writer knows is the best friend who's meddling in the marriage, and the two people in the marriage don't really seem related to the writer at all. And so I can certainly understand why, from their perspective, it's kind of like, should I even be in this situation? Me personally, I would want somebody, no matter who you are, to tell me. And there's also the added, bit of this third friend who is close with the wife. Um, I think there's a third option here. I feel like I don't know if I would want to be friends with somebody. I can say I know I would not want to be friends with somebody who would meddle in someone else's marriage. It depends on how you feel about marriage. But I just feel like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you sleep with somebody else's husband? Like, that's nuts and really cruel and just fucked up and like not necessary at all. Like, you really could just find a man. You could just find your own man. They not hard to find at all. So I don't understand why you're doing that. Um, and honestly, that would be it. I would be like, girl, you need to. I feel like I would just pull her aside and be like, you need to come clean. Um, and if you don't, like, this is going. Me and you is over. I don't know. I still don't know if I would tell the people because I still feel like it's a little like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's a little bit not my place, but there's also like my own being complicit in it. I understand, like, even if this person were to stop being friends with the person that's part of the affair, they might still feel like they're complicit by keeping the secret. I just feel like at a certain point, you gotta let people know you don't condone their behavior, and that would be my main thing. And I would hope that the wife would figure it out, and I would hope that that sort of ultimatum would push this person to come clean, or at the very least stop that affair. But I'm glad I've never been fixed with an issue like this because part of me feels like I would break and have to send the wife a little anonymous message or something. I don't know because I just like I hate that. And like you laying down every night next to somebody who you think is being faithful to you and you're not. And all these people know, oh my God, right, talking about your business. Everybody know, but you're none the wiser. But then again, maybe she knows. A lot of people be knowing and they don't be caring. But I don't know. I feel like this person, regardless, the friend would not hear from me again if they continue this affair because I just feel like that's just a nasty spirited thing to do. And like if you do that to me, you do anything. Mm-mm, you're weird. Okay, let's do one more. This one is a little bit of a longer one. It says, as a white man, can I date women of color to advance my anti-racism? I'm a straight white dude and recent college grad who has very progressive beliefs and is looking for a committed partner who, in time, can equitably raise a family with me. I have almost zero honest to goodness physical preferences. I've dated women of various shapes and sizes, various skin, hair, and eye colors, etc., and I've been attracted to all of them. Here's what's controversial among my friends. I want to prioritize dating women of color. I'm after a cross-cultural relationship. I believe very strongly that one of the main ways to combat racism is through relationships. Part of me thinks that I will always be somewhat disappointed if what ends up becoming one of the most important relationships in my life is with another white person. If someone is a woman of color, that checks the box for me in a real way. I am seeking to be anti racist in all my relationships. Part of the reason I'm prioritizing is to combat implicit bias, having grown up in a fairly white, quasi rural place. I'm dedicated to educating myself on issues of racism, sexism, and other forms of hierarchy, while also learning from marginalized people. For me, principles lead the way to attractions. I start by eating a food or adopting a habit because it's good for me, and after trying it enough times, I find I really like it for what it is. The same applies to people I'm considering dating. Both I and my hypothetical partner of color will be choosing more learning and less comfort to put forth greater effort and practice more listening than we otherwise would in a culturally homogenous committed relationship. And one of the main ways that I hope to combat racism individually is by leveraging my own privilege, economic, family connections, education, for people of color, including any biracial children we bring into this world. Here's my question. Despite my well meaning anti racist principles, is this preference, as friends have suggested, wrong, insensitive, and somehow itself racist? My question for this person is What is wrong with you? Honestly. Like, I feel like, long story short, you should not be dating anybody, right? Because the way that you've talked about both women of color and even white women in this letter is like kind of nuts. Like, to say that you would be, if you ended up dating a white woman, you would be disappointed. Okay. But even more than that, it's like the way that they are talking about dating a woman of color. I'm honestly like, I'm just a little bit speechless because I don't understand how you set out to be anti-racist and you ended up being more racist than you were in the first place. Like, obviously, I don't know what it's like to be white. I don't. So I'm really struggling to see this like mindset, this point of view. But I just feel like, how can you not see that you're not treating these women as people? Like, this is a full person, just like you are, who is looking for a relationship, a partnership, all of these things, and you're like, look, a tool. That's not nuts to you? Like, there's a quote that I love and I always bring up, and it's about something even far more serious, and this is about slavery. It's about a Ta-Nehisi Coates quote, and it's basically about how slavery is not this undefinable mass. Like, it's not just this system or whatever. It's a specific person who has like all of the preferences and all of the feelings and all of the complicated, um, like emotional complexities and all of the little idiosyncrasies that you have. Like, all of that, it's that too. Like, it's this is a full person. It's not just numbers. You hear, oh, such and such million people enslaved. It's not just that. It's all these individual people who have so much potential to have full lives and do have full lives. They have families, all of this type of stuff. And I feel like that level of personhood is something that, like, just throughout history, white people have struggled to be able to attribute to black people or people of color in general. I'm saying black people because I'm black, and I know, like, that's the point of view that I see it from, right? And this is a form of that. You know, like I talked about it in the quote, it's referring to slavery, but it's trickled down from slavery to Reconstruction to Jim Crow to like everything. And now in your dating life, even someone is saying that they would like to date you and possibly marry you and bear children with you, have you bear children for them, rather, as a tool to help them be less racist, and have the audacity to say, to compare you to what, food? What was it, food? They said if they eat enough of it, yeah, eat. I start by eating a food or adopting a habit because it's good for me. And after trying it enough times, I find I really like it for what it is. No, you do not. You conditioned yourself to do it over and over and over again. And this is like, this is a person. It's not a food. Like, I just can't understand how you type that and like you still had that question at the end. Like, is this wrong? Like, this is your wife and you're treating her like she broccoli. Like, that doesn't make any sense. I feel like if I found out I was dating a man, well, this wouldn't be an issue for me. But if I found out that I was dating a man who had to condition himself to be attracted to me or condition himself to love me or to desire a relationship with me, like, the thought of that makes my bones itch. It makes my skin want to peel off. It just seems disgusting and just so freaking disrespectful. Like, I really can't even fathom it, and I feel bad for any woman that has let this person touch them. This is why interracial dating can be a bit of a sticky situation for a lot of people of color, because it's like you're already fighting so many things, right? You, like, first you gotta find, let's well, it can be an issue with multiple combinations of interracial dating, but this person is white, so let's just talk about dating white people. You're already fighting the person that you're dating, if you're fighting the possibility, rather, of them being racist. And a lot of people see things on surface level and say, well, if you're dating a black person or whatever, then you can't hate black people, or you can't see black people as less than, and they don't understand that racism can take all different types of forms, because this is extremely racist. Like because I just feel like, again, you're not awarding this person the same level of personhood that that you see for yourself. So you're already fighting that. What if this person has their own biases, even if they're not outwardly racist, or like all of that sort of thing? If it's more implicit bias and explicit bias and all of that type of stuff, and also that stuff can unfold over time. Like, there were some people who were at odds when, in 2020, when George Floyd was murdered, and all of that happened, and the police brutality stuff was a huge topic, and now they're seeing that their spouse may not feel the same way as they do, and all that sort of thing. So like, you're already combating that. Then there's the family, right? Because a lot of people got their uncle or their mama or their grandmama who just say crazy shit, just flapping off at the mouth, and Thanksgiving is a headache and all that sort of thing. Like, so now you're dealing with that. Do you want to put yourself in that position if that's the case for your significant other? Do you want to put your kids in that position? Do you want to have kids in this situation? All of that. So to get past all of that, and to find out that your partner is using you as a tool, as a means to an end, as a lesson, as a take your medicine sort of thing, is just like, I can't fathom it. I don't know why everybody can't just be normal. Like, there's something about white people who have generally only been around other white people. Like, this person says they grew up in a pretty white environment, where like their brain just short circuits when it comes to being around people of color. Like yeah, there's gonna be some stuff that you need to learn, because you were probably being super casually racist in your environment, because there was nobody, either y'all didn't care about the people of color who were there, um, and they didn't feel comfortable speaking up to y'all, or there was just nobody there to let y'all know, like, that ain't right. So like, yeah, there probably will be some learning, some unlearning that you have to do, but like, y'all just take it to such a freaking extreme that it's just like, why can't you just be normal? Like, the answer is no. You cannot date women of color to advance your anti-racism. I think you should not be dating anybody. You should. I don't know what you should do. I think you should just pack it up. Like, if this is what's in the dating pool, Father God. Let me know what y'all think about these questions. I will put the links in the description. This is a subscriber only newsletter, so I don't know if you'll be able to access it, but if I can give a gift link for them so that you can read them in your entirety and read the philosophy professor's responses, then I will do that, and it'll be in the description of this video. But regardless, please let me know what you think, because whoo, these are some doozies. And let me know if I should do this again. I have plenty of these in my inbox. I think they send them all out like every week, so I have so many that we can talk about. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. These are my social media handles, including my other YouTube channel where I post video essays and commentary through a historical lens. I have some pretty exciting things coming up there, so subscribe over there if you like. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe here, and click the bell icon so that you get a notification every time I get off my butt and post a video. Thanks again, and I'll see y'all next time.